This is basically, okay, you're somebody who heard Ken Robinson on TED Talk, perhaps.
2007.
Okay, yeah. And so now you've done something to make school more creative?
Yes, tried to. I spent 6 months on a sabbatical, funded by the Royal Society of New Zealand, with Gordon's. Just keep walking, guys, I'll show you. Funded by the Royal Society to look at whether creativity, particularly with respect to business education, because the CEOs across the land are saying the three most important qualities now for new entrepreneurs and CEOs is creativity, complexity, and adaptability. So I saw a challenge in trying to get kids, particularly in business, kids can't think of a new idea. So you'd say, we're going to start a business, they get all excited, but the thinking, the cognitive process is being lost, which is what Ken Robinson says. So, I tried to see if there's some way I can put it back. And I've done some work on sort of successful educational systems that have used creativity, so like Finland, for example. But I also looked at businesses and how they encourage it, and of course the Googles and the Starbucks and the Apples and all those other companies came up. But there's also other companies that are trying to do it as well. Right. And then I took some of the best parts of their model and see if I could adapt it to a classroom environment, to see whether or not there would be any step forwards in cognitive ability to be creative. And I've seen already that the answer is undoubtedly yes, it can happen. The key is to introduce it at a very early age in education, but also as a teacher, and this is the key, I need to model that creativity, risk-taking.
So you have to be an entrepreneur.
I have to be an entrepreneur, so that's one of the things that I've been doing as well. So the intention is really to try and build a new model of education for business, but that would obviously have links to other parts of the curriculum. Now the book that I've written there is an attempt to try and apply the principles of the new curriculum, new thinking around teaching and learning to develop a new model as to which teachers can deliver a curriculum which ticks all the boxes of key competencies. So resilience, creativity, managing yourself, working with others, using symbols and texts, but also to build it into learning about how to run a successful business. And I will not deny that it's incredibly challenging to do.
And well, let's open it up a little bit here. What was your sort of theme in doing
this? For example, in the book, like in most school textbooks, what you generally find is a lot of exercises, a lot of narrative, a lot of fill in the box, multiple choice questions. I have discussion points, I have thinking activities which encourage kids to actually sit down with their teacher and think about a particular problem. So initially there are no answers in this book. The intention was to try and actually get kids to think for the answers for themselves.
Wow, I see. It's organized around a big idea.
So there's a lot of conceptual based learning in here, which again, for a lot of teachers who've been used to content, is a real challenge. So I've tried to teach concepts first and content second, and that's also been proven to be quite a challenge. But at every point in here there's inquiry exercises. I used, for example, here in KFC, which was a big issue in business in New Zealand a couple of years ago.
Oh, and then you got the ethical.
I got the ethical aspect to it as well, which is a very, very important case study approaches. So when teachers bought this, they were kind of very happy, because this is the only one of its kind in New Zealand. They were very happy, but then they said, where's the exercises? Thinking activities, inquiry activities? This is not what we thought. I mean, I'm sure Gordon would support this, but in the forward of my introduction, I write quite categorically that this is not a textbook, that a business resource like this has to be fairly organic, and it has to grow and develop. It can't simply be static. And that's what this book is hopefully about.
So there's a website associated with this.
This is the next stage. This is my, if you like, my extension strategy.